Welcome back. English Wine Week promotes homegrown production and is celebrated annually. This year, the merriment takes place from June the 15th to June the 23rd. During this week, some of the great vineyards in the United Kingdom will welcome the public for tours and tastings, while local restaurants will make a point of pairing English wines with delicious menus. Joining me now to share his hot tips for finding the best tipples across England is the drinks master, Andrew Morgan. Andrew, lovely to see you. So I am busy manhandling here a sparkling wine which is called Fox Earl, and I'm going to proceed to open this while I ask you a question. Good. Which is that, I mean, English wines are just going from strength to strength, are they not?
Absolutely.
I hear we might have, what, something like 1,000 vineyards in England?
Yeah, over 1,000 now, yeah.
And we've now firmly established that English wine is not a joke, it's a very serious matter. And just tell us the story about the chalk and why we have formations here which are similar to those to be found in Champagne.
Yeah, indeed. It's a fascinating bit of geology that the chalk that makes Champagne and the Chardonnay grapes and all of those wonderful whites pop so well. On cue, thank you very much. It goes under the English Channel and comes out in sort of Kent and glasses, yes,
please.
Kent and to the south of England, and as such, the Champagne area is oversaturated with vineyards. They're really struggling to make enough grapes, and the irony is that we've got all these wonderful fields over here that are absolutely perfect for producing Chardonnay and sparkling type wines, which has left some of the vineyards are actually looking to buy land over here in the UK and grow grapes that they can't actually grow, in the Champagne region. Again, very restricted. You have to do exactly what is required of you to produce that Champagne, whereas someone like Tattinger, who are opening up near Canterbury and have bought an enormous amount of land, hugely exciting because they can finally flex their wings and are not restricted by all of those things that they have to do to produce a Champagne wine, which is great. I mean, it's great it's restricted, but over here we have a little bit more freedom. And this here is from East Sussex, an award-winning Chardonnay, main Chardonnay grape, and just
it's by Henner's. It's 2018. It's called Fox Earl English Sparkling Brut. We're drinking it out of the most elegant frosted plastic.
Indeed, the finest GBNs could find. They're absolutely superb. But it doesn't matter. I mean, ultimately, I think it comes down to the liquid. It really does. It's gonna make it shine or not.
Now, this is all about, is it not? I mean, I think that is absolutely delicious. This is about the balance between acidity and sweetness.
Absolutely.
And we seem to hit. To say we hit the sweet spot would be wrong. We hit the right spot between the sweetness and the acidity.
So I think, again, one of the benefits we've got over somewhere like Champagne is that we've got quite chalky, as I explained earlier, and we've also got a lot of clay. And there's some of the vineyards are doing single grape expressions of a chalk grape and the same grape grown on clay, and the difference is phenomenal. I mean, it really is. And then it's down to the skill of the blender to produce something that, out of all of these different packets of wine, you can create something that is a non-vintage. Now, this is a vintage, and a lot of the wines in the UK or in England are vintage, and that's because they are of that year. So they're not producing something that's homogenous and regular. They're producing something that is going to change with the seasons, but that's also quite exciting.
Now, we're going to do something pretty unusual when it comes to wine, which is that we're going to take a bottle opener as though we were opening a bottle of beer. So tell us about this. How on earth is it that we're taking a bottle opener to a cap?
Well, the Champagne method of fermentation is very intensive, and you basically have to lay the bottle down, turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it. It costs a lot of money, a lot of time to do that. What we have here is...
I don't know whether the camera can see the amount of...
is fermentation in the bottle.
Sparkling, which is going on there. Look at that.
So it's kind of taking beer concept of having something that's still fermenting in the bottle. And what that does is it produces a really light, sort of nice fermentation and sparkling wine that's really accessible. More Prosecco-y, I guess, because again, that's not using the Champagne method.
Yes.
But it's really, what I love about this is Marks and Spencer's are doing this, and they've done a whole range of English wines which are all at £15. So one of the things that have been thrown at English wine is that it's a little too expensive. And actually, cheers. And actually, what we're doing, we've got a small vineyard near Canterbury that are doing this for M&S, and it's just, I love it. It's exciting, it's different, it's not too expensive, and just, I mean, quite lemony, actually.
Cheers, yeah.
It almost feels
Now, that is indeed more
Very
Prosecco-like. So you say £15 a bottle. We're going to do another unusual thing, which is going to taste a red English
red.
wine. Now, why do we not, on the whole, get much red wine in England?
So traditionally,
I'm probably blocking you completely. No one can see you. Let me sit down.
So traditionally, we need a lot of heat to produce red. So if you think of the big reds, your Chateau Neufs and all your Tuscans, it's a lot of sun, and the sun really makes those particular grapes work very well. What we've found that's worked in the UK or in England is using more sort of German varieties. So this is a grape called Dornfelder, which I say it as if it's a lady's name. I'm sure if it was German pronunciation, it would be Dornfelder. But Dornfelder, she feels like
Gribble Bridge.
Indeed.
I think we love that.
This is Biddenden. So Biddenden are one of the oldest family wineries in the UK. So we go back, to us being teenagers, and English wine was a joke. And Biddenden were around at that time. And although their wines weren't as sophisticated as they are now, I love the fact that they've grown with. It's not like it's the new guys just coming in. These guys have been around a long time, producing some great wine. And now that the technology and the science has really kicked in to mean that you can make great wine in the UK. Our money stays in the country, which I think, again, it has to be a good thing that we're supporting the businesses, the farmers, the pickers, everybody. And we can feel pretty proud that blind tasting, we are winning against champagne and against the world's greatest, non-vintage wines with stuff that's produced, only miles down the road. Technically, it is brewed, but that's a.
No, it's all really exciting. English wines could hold up their heads now. You will have a marvellous week celebrating English wines. Andrew, thank you very much indeed. Andrew Moore,
That's a pleasure,
thank you very much for coming on and bringing these marvellous wines.